Shalom, this is Rabbi Shlomo Furst. Day of Rosh Hashanah is referred to in the Torah HaKodesh as Yom Teruah, and that's understood by the Targum Yom Yavava, that the sound of the shofar that sound is a sound of Yavava. What's Yavava? That's an Aramaic term which means cry. That Yom Teruah is referred to by the Torah as the day of cry. That the cry is heard by HaKodesh Baruch Hu, and that's understood in many different ways. We can go into that later on if we're going to go into more detailed explanations and classes on this. But Yom Yavava is a key to understanding what the whole sound of the shofar is about. The sound of the shofar is a sound which is supposed to arouse and bring mercy upon us at the time of Rosh Hashanah, the time of judgment. And the minhag is that we start blowing shofar every day during the month of Elul, at the end of the prayers of the morning, Shacharis prayers. And we blow one set of what we call Tashrat. That's Teruah, Shvarim, Tekiah, Teruah, Shvarim, and another Tekiah. And that's the sound of the cry. When you think of crying, try and picture or watch, if you have ever an opportunity, to say a child, a young child, when something's taken away from him, and you see that he takes a moan, and then he'll let out a blast of short, more sharp sounds. So that's what we call the Shvarim Teruah. The Shvarim are like the moan, and the Teruah is like the short wailing sounds. So you have that sound of you have and then they let it out like you're taking a deep breath, and it all comes out with the what we call the shvarim, the moans, and then the teruah, the wailings. So this is what we try to simulate with the sound of the shofar when we blow on Rosh Hashanah. You should know that when it comes to the shofar itself, on Shabbos it's considered to be muksa. You shouldn't touch a shofar on Shabbos. Shouldn't blow a shofar on Shabbos, right? It's considered a musical instrument in the fact that we don't play musical instruments on Shabbos, so therefore it's forbidden to blow and play on Shabbos with the shofar. To touch it, it's muksa. On Rosh Hashanah itself, if you're not really expert, in blowing, if you haven't really perfected all these lessons that we've been talking about up till now, you shouldn't be blowing a shofar on Rosh Hashanah, because you're supposed to be blowing the shofar for the sake of mitzvah. So if you're not capable of doing the mitzvah, right, what you're just simply doing is you're making sounds which may be a sound of a mitzvah, it may not be a sound of a mitzvah. But if you're not capable of doing the mitzvah, you shouldn't be picking up and blowing your shofar on Rosh Hashanah, just like it would be forbidden for you to do that on Shabbos. So, however, if you are expert, if you do practice well and strong enough, and you know, and you should really speak to someone who knows the halachas, learn them in depth, and we'll be actually having shiurim on that in the next 2 weeks. We'll be starting shiurim in depth about all the different halachas that need to be learned and known for the blowing on Rosh Hashanah. So if you feel you're capable, and it's best to try and go to a rabbi and check it out. Say, Rabbi, I think I can blow a shofar. You want to listen to me? Because maybe there's going to be someone in my house that can't make it to shul, or maybe someone needs to hear it later on in the afternoon, and I'd like to do a chesed for them and help them. So, Rabbi, listen to me blow, and tell me if I'm expert enough to be able to blow on Rosh Hashanah, in which case you'll be blowing kosher tekiyas, and you'll be blowing the shofar for the sake of a mitzvah, which will be mutter for you, will be permissible for you. So keep practicing. You have time in Elul to practice a lot, and you'll be hopefully having a lot of hatzlacha and bracha in doing that, and you'll be ready certainly for Elul, and go to a rabbi and get it checked out to see if you can do it on Rosh Hashanah. Till next time.